Yes, before we call on the next item. Mr. City Clerk, where's your tie?
I didn't wear the shirt, and I couldn't close
Okay.
my.
You know what this judge did to this lawyer on was it on Thursday?
In court.
He showed up in court without a tie, and he could not address the court and send them home, get his tie, and come back and address the court.
If that attorney was elected, that would have never happened.
Oh.
If that attorney was elected, it would have been nice.
On Thursday,
Inside joke.
I had a motion before Judge. Okay, we are back. Tab P, Mr. City Clerk.
Yes, Mayor. An ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, amending Chapter 29 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances, entitled Land Development Regulations, by amending Article 7, entitled Definitions, to revise the definition of retail, sales, and service in order to clarify outdoor display as incidental to the sale of primarily new goods and products, specifically automobiles, providing for conflicts, severability, codification, and an effective date.
Move this amendment.
Okay, has been
Second.
moved, has been seconded. Public hearing is open on tab P. Public hearing is now closed on tab P. Councilman Blinn, Councilman Marcellus, Councilman Gavin,
No question.
Vice Mayor, Mr. City Clerk.
Mayor Pierre,
Yes.
Councilman Marcellus,
Yes.
Councilman Blinn,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Steril,
Yes.
Councilman Galvin.
Yes.
Measure passes 5-0.
Tab Q.
Proposed resolution urging the Florida State Legislature to enact legislation banning the marketing, possession, trafficking, and furnishing of bath salt containing dangerous synthetic drugs.
Move this resolution.
I second that. Anyone wishes to be heard on tab Q? Public hearing is open on tab Q. Public hearing is now closed on tab Q. Councilman Blinn,
Good resolution.
Councilman Marcellus,
Yes.
Councilman Gavin,
No question.
Vice Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, for the record, can you go over the resolution for the public? And just for the record.
Mr.
please?
City Clerk, would you go over the resolution for the public, please?
Not reading it, just explaining exactly what is it that is.
It's Joey. Mr. City Clerk.
Oh.
I'm not sure how to answer that question, Mayor.
Okay. Ms. City Attorney.
It's a resolution that's urging the state legislature to ban the marketing, possession, and trafficking of bath salts. It's a synthetic drug, and I don't know whether it's kids, teenagers that are using this. They smoke it, they eat it, drink it. I don't know. Anyway, it's very dangerous. So you're asking the legislature to ban the sale and the use, the marketing of bath salts.
And a lot of that is coming from, I think a lot of it is coming from Tennessee. A lot of young people are pretty much traveling to the interstate and bringing it down here to South Florida.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, motion was made, seconded. Anyone wishes to record or no? Hearing none, motion passed. Tab R.
Proposed resolution authorizing the city manager and the city clerk to provide prepaid return envelopes for absentee ballots for all municipal elections in the city of North Miami.
This is the item. I think so far there's 2 cities that look into it, but I think those 2 cities have problems with, absentee ballot fraud, and I'm not sure if this is an issue in the city of North Miami. Mr. City Clerk, do we have an issue ballot fraud in the city of North Miami?
Absolutely not, Mayor. As a matter of fact, with regards to our particular ballots, the county election, our particular election is really overseen by the county, and I think we had probably 1 particular ballot rejected, which was very good. It was commended. So we do not have an absentee fraud ballot in the city of North Miami.
And secondly, I have never heard a ballot being returned for insufficient stamp. That's another thing. I think I placed a call to the county supervisor of elections. I didn't get that answer, but I was advised by a few people that there's no such a thing, a ballot being returned for insufficient stamp. So, to me, I know the cities that are doing it, they do have a problem with their own ballots in their own city, so they make it a requirement to pay for that. I'm going to open public hearing on tab R.
Good evening, Carol Keys, 12550 Palm Road. I wasn't really going to speak on it, but it sounds like there's going to be some opposition. I think it's an excellent idea for our citizens to be given prepaid absentee ballots. I think we had last election maybe 3,000 absentee votes. We're looking at less than $1,000. With the money that the city spends, I think $1,000 to give our citizens who want to vote free stamp is just pennies. And I mean, I can't even imagine why we wouldn't do it. Thank you.
Annie Montgomery, 2082 Laurel Lane. Maybe we can also save some money because I got my absentee ballots and it's paid for by the county. So a lot of them are going to be paid for by the county. So maybe we don't have to spend as much as you all think. Thank you.
Public hearing is now closed. Councilman Blinn.
I think it's an excellent idea. It was originally thought of by the county commission, and it was voted through, and it will save the citizens a few dollars.
Okay, Councilman Marcellus.
I believe the envelopes that we have from the election department, they are special envelopes. It's not any regular envelopes on them, and I really don't know how we're going to do the prepaid envelopes, and because I remember you have to sign on the envelope for the absentee ballot.
You're correct, council member. We don't print the envelopes anyway.
Yeah, so it's probably very difficult for us to do special envelopes and to do it. That's the only thing that I think I probably, because the last time I thought I voted absentee, but I have to sign on the cover of the envelope. It has to match my signature, otherwise it will be void.
But I think the way it works, basically the money goes to the county, and the county sends you already this envelope prepaid. It's not the city that does it, it's the county that does it, and I think that's what they're asking to do. But I think those two reasons that I stated, I don't think we have a problem with, our ballots, and secondly, the other reason that I stated. So I think, it goes to the county. The money goes directly to the county, and the county set it in.
Okay.
Okay. Councilman Galvin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And the reason that I asked this to be put on the agenda tonight is because Miami Lakes and Hialeah, as well as Miami-Dade County, has already done this. Now, whether or not North Miami has any issues with our absentee ballots is irrelevant. Miami Lakes has already done this, and to my knowledge, they've not been implicated in any of the recent scandals. I think this is a great idea because it removes from the ballot brokers the ability, or lessens the ability to say, hey, give me your ballot, I'll go drop it in the mailbox for you. Yes, Miami-Dade County has already passed this, but it's only for Miami-Dade County elections. For the standalone municipal elections, it doesn't count. So for less than $1,000, there were 2,100 absentee ballots in our last city election. For less than $1,000, we're just taking that extra step. Nobody has accused North Miami, but that doesn't mean we can't do a little bit more above and beyond to protect the honesty of the ballot that people are being asked to submit. We would simply write a small check, less than $1,000, to the county every couple of years to cover our absentee ballots with prepaid postage. That's all I'm asking, and I think it would be a great great symbol of wanting to make sure we protect the ballot in doing this. That's why I asked that it be put on tonight.
Vice Mayor.
I don't have any comment, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. As I said, at least I would like to see the county supervisor of elections saying that basically if a ballot is does not have insufficient stamp, that it automatically get returned and the vote would not count, but actually that's not the case at all. So this is your resolution, so I'm assuming that you're going to make the motion. So
Sure, I'll make the motion to approve the tab.
Second.
okay, Mr. City Clerk, would you do that by roll call for me, please?
Yeah, before we do that, can I ask another questions? And like you just mentioned, the county make the prepaid envelopes, but for the standalone municipalities, we do not have that luxury. That's correct.
Well, the measure that was passed by the county commission a couple of weeks ago, for instance, in the upcoming November 6th ballot, they will pay for absentee ballot return postage stamps.
So the county.
The county, throughout the county, including North Miami, but that's just for a county-wide election. Next May 2013, when we're having our municipal election, there won't be any countywide. Well, if there is, then it would work. But assuming there's no countywide questions on the ballot, then this would allow us to simply write a check of less than $1,000 or in the neighborhood of $1,000. Let's say the absentee ballot requests go up. We'd pay about $1,000 to the county to cover the return postage. And what that does, in my opinion, for those, it's not happened in our city before, but if somebody runs around in the next election trying to collect absentee ballots, give it to me, I'll take it to the post office for you, then the voter doesn't have any reason to give that ballot to somebody else because they can put it in the mailbox themselves. And if you watch what happened in Hialeah and wherever else it was in Hialeah, part of the problem came from the older residents giving their absentee ballots to somebody else to take to the mailbox, and it ended up in somebody else's hands.
That actually happened to me.
But it does. It does. Whether and I think the real issue is, and I mean, we have seen elections around town, and now what I see is that there's a lot more people that are voting by absentee ballots, which I think initially the system was designed for people that were unable to make it to the polls to actually vote by absentees, and more people are voting by absentees, which is, I think, it's a good thing. And it's been, at a measure that, we don't have that problem in the city of North Miami. In addition to that, as I said, whether there's a stamp on it or not, whatever those brokers are, they could always show up at your house and say, hey, I'll take it to the post office for you. Or do you got a stamp on it? Maybe it'll get there quicker. So I'm not
People want to break the law or is going to find ways to break the law. We're not going to stop that.
Right.
But if we can put one more hurdle in their way for less than $1,000, let's do it.
Ms. Shaw, go ahead.
What I would suggest to the clerk office, and take into consideration what Councilman Galvin just mentioned or his concern, I think we need to educate the constituent much more about how how sensitive the absentee ballot is. If I was worried about something totally different than what you just mentioned, having the frail elderly or people that's really not educated about the absentee ballot, people come to your house, I will take it. Having a stamp or not, people will still probably feel more or lazy to go to the post office to mail the absentee ballot. I think that I would suggest that the clerk office actually do all the diligence to educate the people about the sensitivity about the absentee ballot, to make sure that not to hand it over to anyone with stamp or without stamp, to take it themselves to the post office, because it's very important, extremely important actually to the city.
And I might mention, to think of it, the councilman could have just requested that I've done this. I am the elected supervisor of election. If we find $1,000 in our budget and I make the decision to pay the county an additional $1,000 from our election budget to get this done, if we think that absentee ballot fraud is a problem, I can just do it if I want to. But right now, there's no reason to believe that right now. We don't have that problem in the city of North Miami. It's just, and like the mayor said, if I'm not mistaken, they do not reject absentee ballots because there's not a proper stamp on there. But in essence, it's only $1,000. But I think it's just, it's kind of like, it's not. They're not going to reject an absentee ballot because it doesn't have a stamp. And this is an election matter. So, if he wanted to, he could have just came to the office, Mike. This is what I want you to do.
But I like doing things above board and in public, so.
Right, okay, I get
And you can do that too if you still want to. But
Right, I'm
but
just
why
saying
are we?
it's not really
If we're
necessary.
so sure this is not an issue in our city, why is this a matter of discussion?
Okay, Mr. City Clerk, roll call.
Councilman Galvin.
Yes.
Mayor Pierre.
No.
Councilman Marcellus.
No.
Vice Mayor Sterrill.
No.
Councilman Blend.
Yes.
Measure fails 3-2.
Top S.
Proposed resolution urging the Florida State Legislature to exempt from public records disclosure absentee ballot requests and personal information included on such requests.
Mr. Mayor, may I explain?
Sure, go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Before you explain, can I open, public hearing is open on top S.
Annie Montgomery, 2082 Laurel Lane. I totally agree with not having published the people that request absentee ballots. I think there's where the fraud begins. I don't think all the campaigns and the people running for office should know who requested absentee ballots. It should not be made public, and I totally agree with stopping that. Thank you.
Good evening, Carol Keys, 12550 Palm Road. I agree with this resolution also. I am astounded at your vote in this last issue that you're about to entertain giving thousands upon thousands to charities, not even in this city, and forget whether we have a problem or not. We can't afford to give $1,000, 50 cents per citizen
Excuse
who
me,
wants
we're
to
on
use
top
it.
S now.
Well, this is part of it. And if you think we don't have an absentee ballot issue, we do, because I'm very familiar with it. There is absentee ballot problems. There are people giving out stamps. It's a way to get to people. And anything that we can do to stop this absentee ballot fraud or prevent it in the future, maybe nothing happen. But I think that the government has requested that we make these resolutions, and it's terrible the way people's private information is given out. Every time people put in their absentee ballots, you get who's registered, who's done it, and people are getting bothered, people are going to their house. There is a lot of cause for fraud, and I think you should pass this. And if anybody doesn't pass this and didn't pass the last one, there's a good reason. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, member of the council, Joe Celestin, 13500 Northeast 3rd Court, the former mayor of the great city of North Miami.
One of the best in the country.
Right.
Mr. Mayor, election laws and also public sunshine. We can't do this. We can't change the rule of election laws. We can't go around and say government receive papers and people can't see it. That's what sunshine is all about. You're not going to pass the smell test. I'm just telling you, as the former mayor of the city, if you send this to the state, they are going to laugh at us. I urge you not to send a resolution to the state asking them to do something that is against Florida law. The law is already clearly stated under the sunshine. If I give a local government or any government a piece of paper, it's now public record, including the absentee ballot request. So you're going to have a hard time convincing the Florida legislature to change the law, including Miami-Dade County. So I urge you not to send such a resolution to the state. Thank you.
Okay. Public hearing is still open on tab S. Public hearing is now closed. Councilman Gavin.
Thank you. And this is where Mayor Celestin did not read, nor is he aware of the sunshine provision as it relates to this resolution. This does not ask that it be kept secret forever, only be kept private until after the election is held, so that people who want to chase down absentee ballots can't call up the election office as the election is in process and get copies of those names and addresses to run right out to their houses. We all understand what the Sunshine Law means, and we all know that that means you can't keep from public record public documents. But if we want to protect the integrity of our election system, there's no reason why, and this is putting me as an incumbent at a disadvantage in my next re-election bid. Why should I be able to access the list of people who have asked for absentee ballots so that I can then send them special mailings, call them on the phone, or maybe even knock at their doors to ask them for their absentee ballot and see where they are in the process? This simply asks the state legislature to do that on their end. Yes, we don't have the ability to overrule state election law, but we do have the ability to urge our state legislature to simply change the rules, make the absentee ballot request list private while the election is still going on, and then the day after the election is over, that public record sees the sunshine and we move forward. Again, it's another small step in hopefully protecting the integrity of our election system.
Again, I think, this is walking into an area that, maybe, all voters' names should be exempt from the candidates, then let the election goes, then it'll be released after that. Because while we're stopping at absentee ballots, maybe we should stop at anyone who's registered to vote. That information should not go out to the candidates. This is the reason why we have campaign. We go out there and campaign, and whether you request an absentee ballot, whether it's early voting, whether it's voting on election day, we need to know who these people are, and whether they're going to vote for you or not. These people must be contacted, and then from there, they make the decision whom they want to vote for. Councilman Glenn.
It's a very serious matter. I've heard a discussion the other day that the elections in the United States are heading where people won't come out to vote. It'll be totally by absentee ballots. And the state of Oregon, I think, has maybe started something of this nature. They mentioned in that discussion. Absentee ballots might be the way we all vote someday. You don't have to come out to vote. That's the way it's going. Each year it goes up 5-10%. One day it will be 100%. I believe in full disclosure. I don't think we should suggest anything to the state legislature. I frankly think it's perfectly good the way it is today.
Councilman Marcellus.
Yeah, I probably online with Councilman Glenn on that matter also, because the state law is preempted, but by making the city to pass, even urge the state to do this thing, is like you preempted the state laws. I think the state laws, and we have to be in harmony and with the state laws. And I don't think this thing will be like former Mayor Joe Celestin says is, I don't know, they probably even laugh at us if we send it, because, hey, but what this guy wants to do.
Miami-Dade County, Miami Lakes, and Hialeah have all already passed it. I haven't heard any laughter.
They do pass it already?
They've already passed it.
Oh.
No laughter.
You sure about that? Because I didn't hear anything.
They've all asked the state legislature.
We've never asked that in the League of Cities.
Okay, the League of Cities is one thing, but I'm saying right now, other cities have passed things like this, and there's been no laughter. There's nobody laughing at us for wanting to protect the integrity of a ballot.
But I didn't see it like it protect the integrity of the ballot, because since the state already protect the integrity of the ballot, and we do not have that, we probably have it in the future, probably. And
Okay.
but for me, I think it's probably the way it is right now. It's correct, unless.
It's freedom of information.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm listening to all the argument. Truly, I'm trying to find out really what is the problem. For the longest, the city has been participating in absentee ballot, but it's just right now, all of a sudden, it's an issue to have absentee ballot, to use absentee ballot. From experience throughout the election that I know that I participated in, when you go to the Department of Election or call them and request a certain document, I think we have much more information from the voter than just absentee ballot, because I know there's documents when you can actually see not only just the name of the voters, how many times they actually voted, which election that they actually voted. To me, that's a lot of information that you can use to know if you choose to go to this voter's house because you know that most likely they're not going to come out to vote, or should I target this population if they're white, black, Hispanic. So there's a lot of at stake when you actually running a campaign. So I don't know exactly where we're going to stop. Are we going to start with the absentee ballot, or are we going to stop there, or what we're looking for? What is it we're afraid of? I don't really care about those resolutions, but my only problem is that I'm not sure really what we're looking for. So
I'm looking to protect the integrity of the ballot.
Yeah, but
That's
from
why I'm
what?
asking.
From what?
From people
where are we
who,
going?
From people who might defraud it. Doesn't mean that we're talking about people who have defrauded it. It's not my position or power to bring evidence of people who have defrauded. I'm trying to protect it from future fraud. If we can throw one more hurdle in the way of those people who would harm the integrity of a ballot, let's throw it in their way. This doesn't even cost us anything. At least the last one would have cost us $900.
I'm done, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. I guess Councilman Garvin makes the motion. Do I?
I make the motion.
Any second? Okay, no second. Item filed for lack of second. Tab T.
Proposed resolution approving the selection of Amico Inc. as contractor for the Pioneer Boulevard Streetscape Improvement Project in accordance with the City of North Miami Invitation for Bid number 47-11-12, Pioneer Boulevard, Northeast 137th Street, Streetscape Improvement at a cost not to exceed $270,980.60, and authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute an agreement with Amico Inc. in substantially the attached form to accomplish the stated improvements.
Thank you for the reading, Mr. City Clerk. Before I get into public hearing, I wanted to do this since the beginning of the council meeting, but I just got this. It's been sitting there. Some interesting fact on October 9th last year, Sir Paul McCartney marries Nancy Chevelle at a wedding in London. I think the city council was invited, but we had a meeting, so we couldn't go to that wedding. Uganda got the independence from United Kingdom on October 9th, 1962. On Wednesday, October 9th, 1991, Defense Secretary Dick Cheney, defending the Pentagon policy on a ban of homosexual in the military, and he states that we should not take any step that undermines the overall fighting effectiveness of our military forces. That policy stays into place until President Clinton had the policy, don't ask, don't tell. Then President Obama finally got rid of the policy, and basically more than 13,000 service members, during the 18-year period, that policy was into place. And the reason why I'm saying that, on Sunday I was driving from Palm Beach. Was it Sunday or Saturday? I was driving from Palm Beach, and there were a couple billboards that said, President Obama support gay marriages. Do you? Then vote President Obama out of office because he support gay marriages. And just to see that, but it's not in Miami-Dade County. There's a different kind of billboard in Miami-Dade County. And it was an interesting fact, so I wanted to do that from the beginning. Public hearing is open now on Tab T.
Terry Dellerson again, Bayview Lane. If I'm not mistaken, this company is, one of the representatives is on trial for fraud on Friday. and I'm wondering why the city would want to do business with a company that's already involved in a fraud trial. So I think that that should be shelved. You certainly must be other companies who are competent and able to do business with the city.
Are you sure the company is actually...
Excuse me, sir. We're just public hearing. He finished stating what he needs to say. Then you get a chance to say whatever you need to say. We don't do that here, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't know where he gets that information from. That the
Would
company
you
has
state your name?
My name is John Dennis. In fact, I'm the certified contractor.
Uh-huh.
Right. And I also read some article in the newspaper claiming that the company is being investigated or whatever for racketeering, and that's not true.
Uh-huh.
Faustin Dennis is my brother.
Uh-huh.
But I am the contractor, certified contractor by the state of Florida. And I'm just flabbergasted as far as why these misinformations are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where we're getting it from.
I think some members of the council would have questions for you based on that here. So you could hold on for a second.
No
Let me
problem.
just finish with public hearing. Then we'll take some questions for you, okay? Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Carol Keys, 12550 Palm Road. Looking at this, this particular company got an extra 10% or extra 10 points based on local preference. And IMCO, if you look on the state of Florida, Sunbiz, a corporation, their corporation is registered at an address in Hialeah, which is the home of Mr. Faustin Dennis, Mr. Dennis's brother, who I didn't know he was, what his relationship was. Mr. Dennis's are the contractor's 2 licenses. He has 2 business licenses. Both are located in Fort Lauderdale. There is shown with the city a recent May license dated May of 2012 in a penthouse virtual office building over a bank building. Part of the application states that you've had your primary business in North Miami for the past 12 months, and that's where you operate. How a contractor, an excavator, has his primary business in the penthouse over a bank building, I'm not sure where he keeps his trucks, his tools, his equipment, but I think you should look into the local preference. He did sign something, the applicant did sign something saying that he had been a primary business in the city for 12 months, and with a 5-6-month-old license, I don't see how that can be. And there was an article in the New Times today that did bring this up. One of the principals of the company, and the reason I think Mr. Faustin is related is he did sign an application as a general manager in another bid to the CRA. So he is holding himself as a general manager, and Mr. Faustin Dennis is going to be heard for racketeering and bribery or fraud with elected officials with the city of Hialeah, and his trial is on Friday. And part of the application says that no member or principal he hasn't been convicted, but is part of any lawsuit or any such thing. So I think the application is not quite 100% truthful. And seeing as that we're giving this local preference, and seeing how one of the principals may be involved in I don't want to cast aspersions or slander anybody, but it appears that one of the principals is being tried is under criminal investigation. So I think that this should be relooked at very carefully before we hire this company. This is already the second major contract they're getting with the city, and I think you should look at it. It doesn't look real clean. Thank you.
Hello.
My name is Jessica Alston, 1140 Northwest 125th Street. I stand today to really address Councilwoman Sterrell and the concern for the activities that led to the city being fined $154,000.
Excuse me, ma'am, we'll address that at public comments. We're only addressing tab T at this moment, then we take your public comments in a minute.
Oh, I thought it was city
No,
forum.
no, this is not it, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. Okay, anyone else wishes to be heard?
Mr. Mayor, both the Mayor Council, Joe Celestin, 13500 Northeast 34. Again, as a former mayor of the city, I'm going to urge you guys once again to follow the rules. Under the rules, this particular contract is under what we call a cone of silence. No one, no elected official in the great city of North Miami has the authority to address any staff member or anybody about a contract under the cone of silence. Elected official contacting staff, inquiring about contracts or a bid that was advertised under the code of silence should be removed from office. It's the violation of state law. This is why we have a code of silence. If you're aware of any irregularities or something illegal about any bid under the code of silence, you need to wait until the public hearing on this particular matter to address that. Sending out email, contacting staff, asking questions about a contract that is under cone of silence, it's illegal. Whoever is engaged in doing that is breaking the law. Whatever the reason is, we need to start doing business the way business should be done. We need to start doing business the way we are required to handle business. That's number one. Number two, if you have a bid that you advertise and you send it out to every contractors in the United States, whether one or two contractor responded to with an offer. Once you receive your bid, you do your bid evaluation. You, under the state law, chapter 255:20, you are required to award your contract to your lowest bidder, and you cannot determine because you're uncomfortable, because you don't like it. Once you let out this bid, the law says contractor expended money, responded to your bid, and they are the lower responsive bidder. You are required to award the contract. Having to say that Frost & Dennis, who is an employee of the contractor, and this is a reason enough to dismiss a contractor who has gone out and got a bid, got a performance bond, a payment bond, license, because of one of his employee has a case going to trial, who has not been convicted of a crime. It's wrong. It is wrong. I say this because a lot of crazy stuff has been going on in this city. Councilman Galvin, there's been a lot of accusation about you. And I'm one of the guy, when people come out and say, oh, we read in the paper, a letter says Councilman Galvin is responsible for the murder of somebody. Or Councilman Galvin is molested a guy, a kid, a minor. You know what I said? Councilman Galvin has not been convicted of any crime until the court of law determined that adjudicated Councilman Galvin as guilty for committing a crime. That's when he ceased to be the councilman I respect. Until then, the allegations about Councilman Galvin, whatever it is, it's just an allegation. He is still the council member for the great city of North Miami until he's adjudicated guilty of a crime.
Or charged with the crime.
Yes, or charged with a crime.
All right.
In this particular instance, we remember what the law said. Even though we are charged with a crime, until you're adjudicated guilty, you've been convicted, you are not a criminal. You presume to be innocent. That's what the law of the United States said. And now in this particular instance, we are smearing the name of a good man. A man that has given you money in the past. A man that supported Scott Galvin campaign. You receive money from Faustin Dennis.
Which should show you how good I am that I'll even
No.
stand up to the
Excuse
people who
Councilman
give me
Galvin.
money.
Councilman
Okay,
Galvin.
well, you
Let him
know,
finish.
let's keep this.
Councilman Galvin, this is not an
Okay,
argument.
to the
Let me
point.
have my time.
Go ahead.
All right.
I am tired of all this insinuation or presumption that this is a city with corruption. You guys are making this thing very bad for the image of the city of North Miami. If there is something, bring it. I am in agreement with you when the facts are real. If you look at the record at the state of Florida, the name of Faustin Dennis does not appear anywhere under IMECO Corporation. If you look at the license of the contractor, the name of Faustin Dennis does not appear. You have a piece of letter, a letter on your hand that Faustin Dennis signed as a manager that he works for his brother. Faustin Dennis is a man that I respect. He's a friend of mine and a former friend of yours. Maybe he's no longer your friend. And until he's proven guilty, I'm not going to judge him. I am not a judge. When he's proven guilty by the court, then I will stand my position respectfully. The image of the city has been damaged by all this presumption that there's so much going on in North Miami. This campaign has to stop. It doesn't hurt just one side of the community. It's hurting the entire city, and including you. When you make it look like this is a group of corrupt politicians, you're a member of it. When they came back, they mentioned you as a murderer, that a letter was found in the pocket of somebody, that you're responsible for the death of a young man. We defended you because we knew that until the court of law would come out and say otherwise, we didn't want anybody to accuse you of murder. And I didn't know you as a murderer because you've never been adjudicated as a murderer. That was a sad day when there were investigation or there were newspaper accusing you. It was a sad day. It was a sad day for my city. I sat here next to you for 2 terms as mayor of the city. It was painful to me that someone that sat next to me has been accused of such a horrible crime. And it was painful. And today is painful again. And I ask that you guys stop. I ask the charade, unless the facts are there. Don't bring issues that's not. I have friends in the council that didn't know that there were a public bid. We put out a bid to every contractor in the country. Someone responded with the lowest responsive bid with a license and certification. Now we're going to investigate his employee. Should we go and check every contractor employee, whether they're legal or not? We need to stop.
Made a good point.
Mike Scher, Bayview Lane. I'm a contractor, I'm a developer. I bid work. I sign bid forms, I sign proposals. On a public job, you do sign a disclosure. This public job was disclosed as having a local preference. The presumptive awarded contractor acknowledged that and used that to his advantage to gain the bid. My question is very simple. I don't care who he works for, who works for him. I have one question and one question only. Is his place of business in the city of North Miami justify, at this point, him having that preference? If you would like to answer the question, I'll be happy to hear it.
Excuse me, sir. Once we finish with public comments, then we'll answer your question.
Okay, thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Okay, so public hearing is now closed. Mr. Foster, would you? I'm sorry.
John Dennis.
John Dennis, would
Yes,
you
sir.
please come forward? I mean, I don't think we have met.
No.
Okay, I don't know who you are.
No, sir.
I don't know your brother. But when I heard that you were local, in addition to that, other factors that I've heard, I'm very happy with this contract the way it is. But I'm going to tell you the problem that I got that you probably created for yourself or your brother created for you, okay?
Okay.
I don't know your brother, never met your brother. but from what I heard, that you're a great guy. You know, I asked a couple people in the community. They said, "You just don't understand." You know, you're talking about young men trying to, you know, do everything with utmost respect, integrity, competency. I really love that about you. Although we have never met, I don't know who you are, nor your brother. Okay, but the first issue, which, you know, I mean, I have to bring it up. You know, I know, although it's separate, is that your brother sent a letter to the city saying that he is, I think, the general manager.
He is, yes.
You know, for your company, and you know, I mean, it's there. Then, you know, then from there, he was involved with something in another city, which is he's not been found guilty. I think the case is set for trial tomorrow, which I have all the paperwork. I'm sorry, 10/12. Friday, okay. That I have all the paperwork. He sent that here, which to me, I mean, this is your employee. I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, he's involved with, you know, and I don't know, it's a racketeering, RICO, organized fraud, and 50K. So that, you know, yeah, it's there, but to me, that's a non-issue because, you know, and I love it when people live in a glass house and they want to throw, you know, I mean, and they got family members that been engaged, but you know, it's deep secret. So those are the issues. Yeah. So that's one issue. Okay. So other than that, the issue that that I think, you know, came up is the issue because when it first came to me, I think you're on Biscayne Boulevard, that
125.50.
125, the work of your
Suite
bank.
800.
Okay. So there are two ways of being a local preference. One is to have been in the city for at least 1 year doing business in the city, and number two, that 10% of your employees are local residents. So there's two ways of meeting that requirement, and I think you got additional points for that. And to me, I'm satisfied with that requirement unless the city attorney tells me that, you know, that requirement that has not been met. So I'm happy with what I have seen so far. You know, I mean, I looked at your articles of corporation, which was filed. I think you changed the name from ICOM to Amico. Then you do have, you know, an address in Hialeah. I don't know why you are in Hialeah. Why not, you know, actually incorporated and live in and stay in the city of North Miami? We have nice houses in Keystone and San Souci for you guys like you too. Okay.
House in my district, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, we have, you know, I mean, the entire city. So I see, you know, you have that, you know, principal place of business. Mailing address. I mean, it's all in Hialeah. I'm not sure. Maybe you're getting a lot more work in Hialeah than the city of North Miami. I have your, you know, document. So I'm not sure if this is an attack upon you because of your name. You know, that's the reason why people are making it an issue. Because I mean, we give in millions of dollars a contract, but you know, maybe the name is, you know, Dr. Smith or John Joe. So that's not a problem. You know, we don't investigate the principal. We don't investigate the general manager, but that's not a problem. So maybe because of who you are, that's the reason why I think. And they're bringing all these people here, make it seem like there's something going on. And I'm glad we have never met because it would have been like, oh, that's the mayor's friend, or he knows the mayor. So I'm happy. I mean, I saw you sitting there. I was like, I don't know this guy, so I don't know who you are. So basically, I'm very happy with the work and your reputation in this community and for what you have done.
By the way, may I say something? It's kind of funny you guys were talking about 151st Avenue. I was the project manager for the job at Biscayne Boulevard, 151st Avenue, the water line that was built for Swedlow Boca.
This is back in 2005?
Correct. I was the project manager on that job. So I've been working here for a long time.
Okay. But I mean, why is it the company was recently registered in Hialeah?
Oh, well, the problem is I was in the process of moving. This is the issue that's going on. Yes, my brother lives in Hialeah, but while I was actually filing for my paperwork, I needed to actually have the address be put up. The paperwork be done at my brother's house.
Okay,
that's the only reason why that was done. Okay, I don't have anybody else that lives in Florida, so I didn't do it. That's the only way I can actually get it done. I live in Miramar.
Okay.
So when I wanted to work in North Miami because I've been working here for quite a long time.
Okay.
I know all the people, the workers that I have here are all from North Miami. All the employees.
You know what they say?
The funny
you know what
thing
they're
is-
saying is they said, some of you guys, you move from Little Haiti to North Miami, and as you get more money, you move to Miramar.
I wish that's what it was, but it's another issue entirely.
That's not the case.
No, that's not the case.
Yeah, they actually say that.
Yes.
They said,
No.
you come from Little Haiti, which I came from Little Haiti. Now I'm in North Miami, and I'm stuck in North Miami.
No, I wish that was the case, but that's not the case. But I just don't understand why my brother is even an issue in that situation. And funny thing is, I know he's going to be vindicated anyway. And unfortunately, nobody would ever have to say anything about that. They want to apologize to him after the trial is done because he's going to be cleared anyway. But nobody will ever say anything. You'll never hear anything in the newspaper. But I can guarantee you, he's a good man. He hasn't done anything wrong. But that's the reason why I don't understand why this is even an issue with my company.
Well,
first of all, I took the test, passed the test. I'm a certified contractor, and I've worked in construction business for quite a long time now.
Yeah.
Okay, and now all of a sudden it's an issue as to local preference, business preference, and I don't know if he is actually a local preference guy. Even the address of the company is 12550 Suite 800.
Yeah, we know why. Councilman Blen.
I think this is in my district. Where was this money obtained from?
Whose district
Is in my district.
County Garden is in your district?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's in my district.
I know it's in your district. I'm just kidding. Where was this money came from? City
What?
manager?
The budget.
This funding is coming from the CRA. It was a project.
That's the CRA money?
Yes, this was a project that was approved some
By the
years
CRA.
ago.
Yeah.
Another company came out. They were awarded the contract. They kind of left things in shambles. It came back, and it had been lingering prior to my tenure. And we got a consultant who gave a ballpark figure of what it should cost, and it went out to bid. So finally, this project.
That's all I care about, is to make sure it's not money out of our pockets, the general fund.
Still out
The
of
CRA money.
It's still city money.
Okay.
Could be out of Galvin's pocket, but he can't afford it.
That's
Okay.
right.
Anyway, I think it's about time. For me, that's the only way I can say it is about time, because this is a project that I was told that would be completed on September of 2011. Savino Miller came here and make a good presentations and how beautiful the Pioneer Boulevard is going to look, and I was happy, and we're going to have a water cascade allure at the entrance of 136 and Pioneer Boulevard, and I was waiting for this thing to make my report for that year. This thing never happened, and I waited for almost 3 years right now for this thing to finally, we got a developer that is going to do the job. And the only thing, when people ask me if I know IMECO, I say, who that is, I don't know anything about it. Okay, I really don't know. The only thing that I really care, finally this job has to be done. Okay, and Willis, Mr. City Manager, I think it's a big problem. I have a big dilemma with these situations. The government takes too long. We have the money approved almost 3 years ago, and all these developers on that field, and for this job to be done until now, this is it. I have some constituents on the back, and they keep calling back and forth. What are you doing? What? Even a light was out. They keep calling me back and forth. And when this thing, we have to fix this thing, and it takes the longest. And finally, I might say, thanks God, we have a chance. Probably next month or so, IMECO or Mr. Dennis probably will do the job for us. And please do your best. And next time, any project that we have like that, at least we have a timetable. You know, a little project like that cannot take 3 years to be done. Mr. Blaine is not even forget where this money coming from because it was so long since we passed that money.
Yeah.
Okay?
Long
And
time
finally, Councilman Galvin, please, let's move forward with this project and let's finally let Pioneer Boulevard, your street, okay, at least get some fresh flowers and water features and things like that. And I really look forward to get this project done immediately. If I can get it by next month, Mr. Dennis, and I can get this thing done, please put all your employees there, but they have to be from that Miami also. Okay, that's one good thing. Okay, and we get this job done, and finally I will be happy, and the citizen of North Miami. And I have some gentlemen back there. This guy didn't give me a chance. Okay, because they want the street to look good, and the street to be. They back in North Miami, and they keep they back there. Okay, they constantly reminding me, Marcellus, what we're going to do with this thing, Councilman, and finally, please, let's move this thing forward. And thank you very much.
Councilman Garvin?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I agree with Councilman Marcellus. This will be a beautiful project for 137th Street. The former, well, it's still Pioneer Boulevard, even though the old school isn't there. And I really look forward to the improvements to the area when they're done. My first concerns are for staff. The application that we allowed this company, and I guess the other companies in this bid, to fill out is outdated. It includes language that refers to the original local preference, local merchant preference ordinance that was passed a decade ago, but that was amended in 2010. So the language in the application that's in our packet tonight from Ameco is outdated. We need to fix that because what it says is that you must have your primary location of business here in the city, period. It doesn't the new language says that you can have it in the city if you're doing a little bit of business, or you could have 10% of your your staff being local people. In other words, the new amended language should be reflected in the application, because what could happen in the future is another merchant might see that and go, oh, I don't qualify for that. I'm not going to even fill this out. So we need to make sure that the language that's in our application is the most up to date. That's the biggest flaw that I can find there. Now, I understand that Ameco qualified, and I do not, under the current language of our purchasing preference ordinance, I do not challenge that you qualify, that Ameco qualifies. But I do think that the city going forward needs to address these virtual offices, these for rent spaces that a company can come in, even though all their trucks are somewhere else and all of their licensure is somewhere else. They can come in and rent an office by the month that's simply a desk with a shared conference place. We should address whether or not we want that to be considered local merchant space. To me, it shouldn't be, because when we passed this back in 1999 originally, y'all are still listening, right? Everybody's looking down. Okay, thank you. And we passed this originally in 1999. The idea was to try to move more money into local businesses. If we can get business cards printed in the city, why are we going to Broward? I mean, that literally was the instance that brought this to bear 12 years ago. By simply renting a desk at a virtual office in the city, personally, I don't think that should make a business qualify. Now, this company qualifies under other standards too. I'm not challenging the fact that they qualify, but I think we really need to revisit that, because I don't think that is in the spirit of local preference, local purchasing, when somebody really is based somewhere else and they just rent an office here. And to Mr. Dennis, I can only say, I want to play the lottery with you this week because your company just got its business license here in North Miami in May. You've already won a $50,000 contract to do some sidewalk work and some roundabout work. You were apparently close to being awarded $99,000 to clean some sidewalks recently. You look like you're getting $270,000 tonight for this project. And I found out today from CH2ML Hill that they've subcontracted with you for $800,000 of work out at Biscayne Landing. In just a few months' time, your company has been awarded almost $1.5 million in the city of North Miami. You are a lucky startup business, and I want to get out there and play the lottery with you. That's all I've got, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. It may seem that way, but it's been 20 years in the making, though. But
How much did you get in 2005?
2005, it was over almost about $2 million.
$2 million worth of work,
Right.
but there was no
From
issue
where?
with that, right?
They just,
From where?
they
From the
just,
city?
It was with Biscayne Landing.
but
Biscayne
wait, they
Landing.
just got their business license
Okay.
in May. How did they do that 5 years ago, 6 years ago?
He was the general contractor that did the work there too.
No,
What-
no, I was
was
the
it a
project
different
manager.
business?
I was the project manager on that job.
Was it through a MECO?
No.
Oh,
Dude.
was it another business?
Yes.
Yeah.
What was that business?
APAC.
APAC. Is
Right.
APAC still an active Florida business?
Yes, sir.
Who is that business registered to?
My brother Faustin.
Your brother Faustin.
Right.
So Faustin Dennis got that money 5-6 years ago.
Right.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I was the general manager on that job.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
I make a motion to approve tab T.
Second.
Okay, has been seconded. Anyone wishes to work it or no?
No.
Okay, motion passed 5-1 on
Four
tab
to
U.
one.
4-1 tab U.
Proposed resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an amendment to professional services agreement and substantially the attached form between the City of North Miami and the Barron Group, Inc., DBA Barron Sign Manufacturing, to complete Phase 3 of the Wayfinding Sign Program by June 2013 at an additional cost not to exceed $435,000 in accordance with the terms, conditions, and specifications contained in the city's invitation for bid number 61-09-10, gateway signs furnished and installed.
Public hearing is open on tab on tab U. Public hearing is now closed on tab U. Councilman Bland.
This is another project that's being funded by CRA money, correct?
Through the mayor, councilman, yes. That's what the proposal is. There's about $100,000 that's going to be coming from the gas tax funds, and then there's about $300,000 from funding that we are bringing back into the program that was previously allocated, but the work is no longer going to be done.
Right. We have no documentation here what these signs are going to look like or any, and we're going to spend $435,000, and there's nothing here to show what it's going to, what the vision is.
Through the mayor, Councilman Bland, that was a part of the presentation that Ms. Callaway
When was that
Put forward.
presentation?
tonight.
About 2 hours ago.
That's like years ago. They wanted another one.
Yeah,
I wanted to see it again.
You know, he's young. He doesn't understand us old guys, you know. I mean, it's so long ago.
Yeah, that's like years ago.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Councilman Marcellus.
No questions.
Councilman Gavin.
No questions.
Vice Mayor.
No, sir.
Okay, can I get motion to approve?
Second it.
Okay, so move seconded. Anyone wishes to work it or no? Hearing none, motion passed. Tab V.
Proposed resolution declaring as surplus property 6, Lauderdale side loading garbage packer vehicles, and authorizing the city manager to place such surplus property for auction with Lone Star Auctioneer in accordance with Section 7-145 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinance.
Move
I guess-
approval.
Okay, move and.
I'm
has
sorry, I
been
didn't get that,
seconded.
Mayor.
Anyone,
I didn't get that. Who moved it? Galvin did?
Yeah, seconded by Bland.
Thank you, Mayor.
Any public hearing, anyone wishes to be heard? Hearing none. I think, you know, the city next door was looking at those items, and I think they're not interested because they said they won't help them. I'm talking about Biscayne Park, so
They
I
can't
guess
afford it.
yeah, I guess it's going into for auction. And for auction, is anybody can go in there and buy it?
Yes, Mayor, these will be placed on the website called Lone Star. That is a national site that affords people to go there. It's frequently visited by vendors, cities throughout the country who will have exposure to those vehicles, and they can make a determination whether or not they would like to purchase them.
Okay. Can the city attorney go in there and purchase them?
Correct.
Okay.
Does she need them?
All right. Motion was made, was seconded. Anyone wishes to record no? Hearing none, motion passed. Tab W.
Proposed resolution authorizing the execution of a covenant running with the land in favor of Miami-Dade County in substantially the attached form, requiring adherence of institutional and engineering controls by the City of North Miami as the fee simple owner of the land situated at 13110 Northeast 8th Avenue, pursuant to Section 24-44 2K Miami-Dade Code of Ordinances.
Move approval.
Has been moved, as seconded. Public hearing is open on tab W. Public hearing is now closed on tab W. Councilman Bland. Councilman Marcellus.
No.
Councilman Galvin.
No questions.
Vice Mayor.
No, cold.
Okay, anyone wishes to record a no? Hearing none, item passed. Tab X.
Request of Catherine Christophis from Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church to obtain sponsorship in the amount of $60,000 from the city in support of the Greek Festival, November 3-4, 2012.
Mrs.
Mayor.
Christophis?
Here.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Before I begin my presentation, I'm the Vice President of Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church located at 12250 Northwest 2nd Avenue. In dealing with this matter, I want to thank certain staff members, particularly Andrea Ramos in Parks and Recreation. She has been helping us navigate through the logistics of having this very large festival. And I also want to thank in the City Manager's Office, Maida, who has been very helpful also in responding to our questions and requests. This evening, ladies and gentlemen, I am asking for your support and help in getting off this festival again. We haven't had a festival in the past 6 years due to the economic downturn, and we are trying to revive and reignite the community around our church area by having this festival and causing the goodwill and brotherhood within our community to finally bind us together and improve our financial situation. We are requesting your permission in being able to have a liquor permit. We need that for the temporary vendors. That's what they're telling us we need. We need also permission to have a road closure on 122nd Street. It's going to be a partial road closure. We also need permission to have a banner placed over 125th Street. Now that has been I've been told that we cannot do that anymore. So I don't know if that's something that I can get a waiver on, but I've noticed that other cities, like I've seen here in the city of Miami, and I have a perfect picture here for all of you to see, in Coconut Grove, they have the banners that they can place over the street so that we can inform everyone about the Greek Festival. We also want to be able to put up electronic message signboards in various areas of the city to inform everyone about the upcoming festival. This is a large 2-day, 2-night affair. We are going to be paying for all these permits. We're going to be giving money back to the city. We're going to be paying for police for the 2 days and the 2 nights. And that's going to be an exorbitant cost to us, along with the food costs, the advertising costs, that encompasses all of this. We also are going to have what we consider a lot of entertainment and advertising costs. And we have been here now for the past 50 years, as you can say, a customer of this city. Back in 1980, we had gotten our own proclamation from Mayor Howard New. We have been an integral part of the city of North Miami. And I just want to read what he wrote on this proclamation. The people of Greece have provided the world with foundations of modern science, education, government, arts, and culture, and have contributed much to our American national heritage. And whereas the citizens of Greek background have played an important role in the growth and development of North Miami in all facets of life, and this activity emphasizes the richness and diversity of our multicultural community, where each group adds its priceless ingredient to the recipe of goodwill and brotherhood. We want to continue this tradition that we have not been able to do so in the past 6 years because we've had to suspend it because of our financial situation. We want to go ahead and renew this again and make it something annual. I can assure you this is a one-time request in order to revive our festival and revive our community, improve the look of our church, which is a bit shabbier now, and in essence, try and just really bring the community together, because we've had a lot of dividing issues in our area. So we are trying to do the best we can, but we need your support in getting the permits for the liquor, in getting the banner approved, in telling us where we can place our message signboards, in telling us what we can do with our police department and how do we get the logistics done. So we're asking for your support in that regard. And I think if anyone tries to say that, oh my gosh, it's such an outrageous claim, well, it really isn't, because how many years have we paid back to the city in form of via permitting, in via paying for our own bills towards the city, certificate of uses, water and sewer? I mean, we have been a long-time customer too, and we have never in our 50-year history asked for something like this. We have been able to survive and do everything on our own to bring the community together, but you know, we need some assistance now. And it's, like I said, a one-time request. We have our Winter Parade Festival every year where we spend $50,000. And that's for the whole city, and this is going to be for the whole city and the community. We are doing a huge advertising campaign to bring people from all over, including Broward County, our sister churches, to come in and to try and raise the funds to make our city even look nicer in that area. And that's in Councilwoman Steros earlier. So I think it's not a huge request when you look at the scope of 50-year history of what we have done and accomplished. And we are a small community, but we are an important part, as Mayor Rootenu has said in the past. And so that's why I'm asking if you can assist us in this endeavor.
Okay. Well, you know, Kathy, I'm a big supporter of cultural events in the city of North Miami, and festival, I think, you know, that bring a kind of mix that, bring people together, to brotherhood, to break bread, and I think, these kind of things, I'm a big supporter of that. So you preach into the choir. I'm not sure if the rest of the council feel the same way. So let me open public hearing. Then from there, we get comments from the
I'll be glad to answer
okay?
any questions.
That's no problem. Public hearing is open on tab X, which is a request to do a Greek festival.
Terry Dellison, Bayview Lane. As you're all aware, we live in a very diverse city, and if you are going to contribute to one group, I believe it's fair to contribute to others for their festivals as well.
Okay, so you support this group to get the $60,000?
I support what Ms. Christovus is backing, yes.
No problem. Thank you.
Richard Ennis, 13030 Northeast 10th Avenue. Whenever I've been a parishioner of a church, and I've used, I guess, for about 18 years I was a parishioner at Holy Family. And for maybe 15 of those 18 years, we would have a carnival to raise funds. We also, if the church was in bad shape and needed a roof, we did extra tithing and set up a separate fund if we needed to establish extra money that was needed to keep the church in repair. We would come to the city at the time when we used to sell beer next to the pizza booth that I used to run, and we would ask for that temporary 4-day license or whatever it was, and we used the city of North Miami Police for, which we paid for, of course. But we never asked for anything else monetarily to run a carnival to raise money for the church. I mean, many churches run carnivals for 3 or 4 days, and most of the times it's their largest fundraiser for the year. And you would always, put up signs or whatever and keep within the regulations of the city. But why even have the festival or the Greek festival? Why don't we just give them $61,000 and they don't even have to have a festival. They don't have to raise any money, because all you're doing is giving them money. You get donations from people for food. You get people to work and prepare food and do whatever you need to do. You have rides for kids or whatever way you want to run a festival or a carnival or whatever you want to call it. But I don't understand the reasoning for us to give them $61,000 to do this. And I'm obviously not in favor of it.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Abe Rudman, 119th Road. In this entire meeting, and from my viewings of your TV shows, your city council meetings, I have yet to heard a single mention of what can we do to get more jobs to the city. Not even once tonight. North Miami City got an unemployment rate substantially higher than the Florida unemployment rate. The city of North Miami has a poverty level of twice the state of Florida. My last view of that statistic was about 24% poverty level compared to about 12-13% for the state of Florida. This talk about funding festivals, whether it's for this or any other kind of festival, and no talk about helping the people of North Miami get jobs. And we talk about allegations and guilt and newspaper articles about everybody. But nobody talks about jobs. Nobody talks about this economic downturn. This church has, for 6 years, not made an appeal because of this economic downturn. And so now you have this money that's being requested for this or any other festival. And that money's coming from me. It's not coming from the city council. It's coming from my taxes. So if I want to donate money to any nonprofit organization, that's my prerogative to do that with my money. But I don't give my tax money to the city of North Miami to tell me or represent me where my charity money should go to. So I don't understand this mixing of taxpayer money to nonprofits. I don't understand that at all. And so while I feel bad for the church not needing the money, I don't support it. I think our economy, this local economy, our city, is in dire straits. And I haven't heard anybody up there on the dais even talk about this. No plan. What are you all doing about trying to, increase the economy where we live? And that's what I have to say. Thanks.
Good evening, Carol Keys, 12550 Palm Road. Through the mayor, Mr. Johnson, last Friday I sent you a letter, which you don't ever answer my letters, and and this is really speaking on the next 5 requests. It's not just on the Greek church. I am astounded at the amount of requests on this month's agenda for charitable contributions to be given out, and the amount of billable city services, free use of our properties, and outright requests for cash. I've asked you to please advise how much has been allocated in our budget this year for charitable bequests, having nothing to do with the function of our city or our regularly scheduled events. And I'm confident that you will advise the mayor and council properly, because if we do spend money this first week of our budget, how much money is going to be left for the rest of the organizations? And again, this money does belong to the citizens and the taxpayers of North Miami. We do have an ordinance you all passed in 2010, and you have a guideline as to how you vet your charities, how we give grants. There's several charities on here. The charities must be based in the city of North Miami. They must also benefit the residents of North Miami, and a majority of their client base or members must be North Miami residents. We have been giving money out in the last couple months. The requests just keep coming, and we're giving money to different organizations that do not meet our laws. And I would say that in 2 weeks, you're getting ready to spend Biscayne Landing money. You're having workshops. I wasn't invited, I didn't know about it, but I know there's workshops to spend the money. You're talking about possibly $4 million to give to the council to spend. Again, I'm sincerely hoping that you're not going to be spending that. But if this city is going to continue and entertain giving charitable bequests, I don't think that any of the bequests this evening are budgeted for. But if you're going to set up, and we're going to give to charities, then out of that money, I think you need to set up a little pot and say, okay, we're going to give X amount to the charities. But then as they come to you, I think you need to keep track of them. When the money's gone, that's it. But the money that we give in the future, going forward, I think we should abide by our laws, our resolution. I think the charities need to be based in North Miami. And I think they need to benefit the residents of North Miami. We can't just be giving money out. I mean, that's not what a city does. I fully support Ms. Christophus. I think a Greek festival would be great in the city. They happen to be a North Miami charitable organization. They're going to be benefiting and having a festival in the city of North Miami, so I support it. But I believe the only place that money is going to be coming from will be from Biscayne Landing money, because it is not in our budget. And in this first week of our fiscal year, how are we giving money away? And the future, there's several other organizations coming up. I don't really want to come up and speak on each one, but some of them are not for profit, some of them are not from North Miami, some of them are invalid, some of them have nothing to do with North Miami. So I think we need to look at our laws that the council up there passed in 2010. You're all sitting there. I think you need to go by your guidelines, and I think you better set up a budget if you're going to start giving money away. On the other hand, I would also support that you give Ms. Christophus any support, helping her with her liquor license, helping her do whatever it is to get her festival up and running. And if you decide in 2 weeks that you want to set up a charitable fund, then I would support her. But because I think she meets the guidelines of what we all want to do. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. My name's Kevin Burns, 2065 Alamanda Drive. Carol must have lost her mind. She's actually supporting this project. I can't believe it. The liquor license is a beer and wine for the vendors to sell it, no big deal. Banners aren't across 125th Street anymore because FDOT controls that. They don't allow it. There's nothing this council can do unless you want to put it across one of our city roads. But the request is whacked. Just crazy. $60,000 to put on a festival? She's right. That festival used to be a great festival. I went to it as a kid. I went to it at Joint High School. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Not one time did they ask for a handout from the city. Not one time. The church put it on. They didn't ask for a handout. She just said that it's going to benefit the church to do renovations to help with the church, not just a nonprofit. They're not feeding the homeless in our neighborhood. Don't tell me you guys will be willing to spend $60,000 to put on a festival. To do what? To benefit? So they can make $10,000? That doesn't make any sense. And since when do we disregard our city laws? Since when does the city attorney or the city manager disregard the law, not advise you all to follow the procedures, and that everybody coming up this evening, we're not talking about $1,000 or $500 ticket to a somebody's event. We're not talking about that. But you guys have a guideline that was created. You re-emphasized it in 2010 of who can get the money and the procedures. You need to follow those procedures because today you obviously have not. But again, it's $60,000 of the taxpayers' money. And Michael, you laugh off about CRA money like it's just anybody's money. That is wrong and disgusting. You're talking about serious taxpayers' monies for no matter how you spend it. You all should take responsibility for it, whether it's CRA or our local money. But to turn around and give money away, $60,000, that's going to open the road to, okay, the $270,000 for the carnival coming, which is going to add up to $1.2 million. Oh, we give it to this group, so we got to give to that group. Terry even said, you give to her, you got to give to the next group. I want to know where the Irish American parade's going to be at and everything else. Just go, folks, you need to get a handle on this. You need to quit opening the doors of North Miami that anybody, any Tom, Dick, and Harry can come in and grab money. Get a hold of yourselves. Again, you want to give $500, you want to give $1,000 to a charity, you all will vote on it. I remember if we ever got a request of $2,500 or $3,000 or $4,000, it was a big deal.
Still is.
But why don't you make it a big deal, Mr. Blen?
I am making a big deal. I would
have
never
the floor.
accept
Thank
this
you.
in a million years.
You need to think about it. This is money. What's $60,000? All the police cars, the coaches, the after-school programs, and everything else that's going on. A festival for what? For something to happen for 2-day weekend? Why? Don't spend my tax dollars that way, please. If I want to support it, I will. St. James, they don't come up here and ask you for any money. Holy Family puts a carnival on. They don't come ask you for money. They don't come ask you for a waiver of fees. All these people coming up, you budget, and I'm going to wrap up in a second. They come up, it's in your budget, you're going to have so much money coming in from certain revenues, from certain things, and then you're turning around and waiving the fees. At least follow the rules and make believe you want to follow the rules. But again, no group should be getting $60,000 or $10,000 or more than $10,000, and that's, much for the rest. And they're not even organized enough that they need staff's help to do everything. Usually some people come in here and say, listen, we have a plan, we know what we're going to do. We don't need your help, we just need money. We'll go out and get sponsorships. Maybe you should call the city vendors like everybody else does around here that have contracts with the city and see if they want to pony up some money too. Thank you.
Esther Blen, 1990 Northeast 118th Road. Well, as long as everybody's mentioned various denominations and cultural groups, no Temple Beth Moshe, nor the two Orthodox synagogues, they've never come and asked for money from the city, and they certainly can use it. What I'm concerned about is when we're giving out charitable contributions, people have come up here in need, and we haven't established city foundations, city scholarships, city programs to help people pay their water bill, to help people in need, to help people look into applying for loans for house rehabilitation. I feel for the Orthodox Church, the Greek Orthodox Church, but I think this is not focused on the needs of our city. And it's not that I'm uncharitable. I think we could help in ways by helping publicize, by utilizing city services in the technical area. We have an excellent technical support staff and directors. But I think an outlay of this proportion is really not appropriate because it doesn't hit on what the city needs. Yes, I agree with the mayor. A festival is a wonderful thing. It does bring people together, but this is not what we're in the business of doing. We do have a huge unemployment rate in our city. We have a foreclosure rate in our city that is astounding. And I have helped people retain their residences. But there are people that can't afford to retain lawyers. We have excellent legal services and programs available for our city. We just cannot do this. It's just wrong, and it's not. In addition to which, if we haven't followed the procedures that are required, then the consideration shouldn't be given to these applications, and people should be told right away, no, this is not something we can do, instead of having people come up here with high expectations and get disappointed or feel that someone up on the dais is not charitable when they're just trying to focus funding where it belongs.